Welcome everyone to the new video on Sasso's docks. Today I am talking about the day of 7th, 1941. At Pearl Harbor, thousands of American sailors began their Sunday morning unaware that history was about to change forever. One of the most dramatic events of World War II was the Japanese surprise attack on the American airbase at Pearl Harbor, which brought America into World War II. However, before this attack in 1941, there had been no direct American involvement in World War II. What made Japan suddenly decide to attack America? And who knew that the consequences of this attack would wipe out two of Japan's most populous cities? To understand the root cause of the Pearl Harbor attack, we have to go back 100 years to the Great Depression of the 1930s. After World War I, the entire Europe, the Western world, and the Asian continent were completely devastated economically. The island nation of Japan thought that to get out of this economic depression, they had no choice but to expand their territory. The success of the war with China in 1894-95 and the war with the Russian Empire in 1904-05 made the Japanese, who were already weak at that time, more violent. At the same time, their success in World War I was also adding fuel to that fire. The Japanese began preparing to renew their violent identity in the world. Japan's struggle for world domination began with the invasion of Manchuria by China in 1931. But the League of Nations, which was formed after the First World War, protested this incident, and according to its terms, no country could launch an unjust attack on another sovereign country. Japan then withdrew its name from this world organization. As a result, they no longer had any restrictions on attacking China. The people of Manchuria were subjected to tragic consequences such as murder, killing, and rape. The same tragic consequences as those in Manchuria were also inflicted on Nanjing, the capital of the Chinese Nationalist Party. In this 6-week torture, no military or civilian citizen was spared from murder, injury, and rape. These are just a few examples of the infernal nature of the Japanese on the face of the earth. Looking at today's Japan, it would be hard to imagine how terrible a nation they once presented themselves as. America did not look favorably on these activities of the Japanese from the beginning. They had been warning Japan repeatedly. Finally, seeing no other option, America severed all trade relations with Japan. As a result, Japan was deprived of purchasing aircraft equipment, other metal materials, and oil from America. In the meantime, World War II had begun. America hoped that this trade embargo would dampen Japan's violent attitude to a great extent, but in reality, the opposite happened. In 1940, Japan declared war on Germany and Italy, the two powerful countries of the Axis powers. Through this, Japan directly entered World War II. In the meantime, many meetings were held between Japan and America regarding the lifting of trade sanctions. But none of them were successful. For Japan, engaging in direct war with America was almost certain. The influence of the West on the people of Asia was never seen in a good light. On top of that, Japan had no other option but war to maintain its influence in the world. So, seeing no other option, Japan decided to attack America. December 1941, Pearl Harbor is America's main naval base on the Pacific coast. No one thought that an attack could come from Japan, 4,000 miles away from Hawaii. So this airfield was quite unprotected. This made it easy for Japan to attack Pearl Harbor. Admiral Yamamoto had been planning the Pearl Harbor attack for months. If the state of Hawaii was captured, it would be easier for Japan to expand its influence on the Pacific coast. And at the same time, it would open up a beautiful opportunity to advance south. On December 7th, the Japanese Air Force attacked Pearl Harbor in the United States with 360 bombers. The American Navy was completely unprepared for this sudden attack. More than 300 warplanes were destroyed in this attack. All 8 American warships were attacked. Out of the 8, 4 warships were sunk in this Japanese attack. Along with this, 2,400 sailors were killed. The American forces could not mount any resistance in the face of the powerful Japanese attack. After this attack, the United States declared war on December 8th. Although this attack seemed successful at first, the Japanese forces failed to achieve the main objective of the Pearl Harbor attack. Yamamoto wanted to destroy all the oil reserves, combat training centers, and inns in Pearl Harbor. But the Japanese bombers failed to hit them. The the biggest thing is that they could not even hit an American aircraft carrier. This became a major obstacle for Japan to expand its influence in the Pacific coast. Admiral Yamamoto therefore planned a second Pearl Harbor attack. But in the end, this turned out to be the end for the Japanese. 6 months after the first Pearl Harbor attack, Admiral Yamamoto planned a second attack. As planned, the Japanese forces set up a base on the Midway Peninsula near Pearl Harbor. But unfortunately, Japanese radio communications were leaked to the United States. A group of American code breakers discovered the Japanese plan and immediately conveyed it to the American Pacific Fleet Commander Admiral Chester W. Nimitz. Understanding the Japanese plan, Admiral Chester W. Nimitz prepared for war accordingly. That special battle began on the morning of June 4th. From the information received by radio messages, America knew when and where the Japanese forces were going to attack. American fighter planes could not do much damage to the Japanese, but the American bombers changed the game. While loading bombs and ammunition, American dive bombers suddenly caught them. Without a moment's delay, they sank the 4 full-strength Japanese battleships Akagi, Kaga, Saru, and Hiro. Along with this, 322 fighter planes and 5,000 sailors were sunk. The Japanese lost one of their largest battleships, Mikuma, in this attack. In this battle that lasted until June 7th, the Americans lost 147 warplanes and more than 300 sailors compared to the Japanese losses. But this huge defeat of the Japanese at Midway changed the course of the entire Second World War. The entire war plan of both sides changed. This incident is written in the pages of history as the Battle of Midway. Later in 1945, when the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, the once mighty Japan was forced to accept defeat. That's all for today's story. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay well and take care. See you in the next video.